on there.
Oh my god, they're just taking this man, dude.
I see you. Ah! Ah!
Dude, you guys.
Ah! Ah!
This is so scary, you
No!
guys. Poor man, dude. Like, so many people are taking this man.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is a tough one, right? And I want to know your thoughts as we watch. So there's been a growing conversation about ICE targeting Asian communities, rounding people up and sending them to detention centers, what some are calling concentration camps, before deportation. And what is striking people the most is the silence that came before this moment, right? When ICE was going after Latinos, Cubans, and other immigrant communities, there were protests, right? Black people, brown people, and even white allies stood up and called out the injustice. But during that time, a lot of Asian communities stayed silent. They distanced themselves as if it had nothing to do with them, right? And now people are pointing out that this silence might have been a mistake, because I mean, here we are and ICE is coming after them too, and the support that they could have had is not as loud now. I mean, of course, this is a sensitive topic and everyone has the right to feel safe and protected no matter their background, but the irony is hard to ignore, right? And that's what's making this conversation so heated online. As we go through these clips, I'd like to hear what you think. Do you believe that this is karma, or do you think that this is simply another tragic example of how systems like ICE treat immigrants across the board? Please drop your thoughts in the comments and we'll come back and talk some more.
They are now deporting Asians. Please, y'all, stay at home. It's just not one group of people now. And it's never just been one group of people, by the way. It's not just dark-skinned people like Africans, Jamaicans, Caribbeans, and then they moved on to Latinos and Mexicans. It's now Asians, okay? You guys did a really great job marching out there. I was cheering you guys on, but I'm going to tell you like this. I don't think no one should go out there anymore. They up to some real sneaky stuff. Can't talk about it just yet. But look, stay at home, protect your families. That's it. Stay at home, protect. I don't think it matters how much marching and talking we do. He said he was going to do what he's going to do, and he's been doing what he wants to do. No one's stopping him, and no one's going to stop him. You know why? Because they want to change. And this man claims he's making a change. He's doing something that none of the presidents ever had guts to do. And I'm saying it that way because that's how they look at it. Yeah. See, this man, I think, has lost his marbles. But there's no proof of that yet. But he's doing what he wants to do. And there ain't nothing none of us could do about it. Ain't none of us safe, y'all. Stay at home. Protect your families. God bless. And keep in mind that they're monitoring stuff. So please just look. Stay close to your families. Protect your families. All right? Because there's some other little... I'll do another update. Bye.
I have 4 days left till I report to ICE for my deportation. I got a letter in the mail from ICE to come in on June 5th to remove my ankle monitor. They randomly called me in 2 days before to come in for a case interview. I complied, and as soon as I went in, they handcuffed me, threw me against the wall, grabbed all my stuff from my pockets, threw it on the floor, and they put all my stuff in a bag. They told me I have no appeals pending, my case is over, and I'm being deported. However, I did remind them that I was under the Zepeda case. They left me in handcuffs for about an hour to verify if that was true. After confirmation, they told me to come back on the 12th, which is in 4 days. The past few days, it has been really stressful. I recently found out that my wife is pregnant. And amidst all the craziness and the chaos, I gotta say this is good news. But then I start thinking, like, I won't be there for my wife. I won't be there to hold my baby when he or she is born. So when I think about stuff like that, it really makes me sad. My new family is being torn apart before it has even had a chance to begin. We will be calling the governor's office tomorrow, emailing them, calling them, commenting on their page. I really thank you guys that have been supporting me and my wife since day one. But I know regardless of what happens, I know it's gonna be alright.
I need your help. I got deported. I'm in Japan naman because they couldn't tell if I'm Hispanic or Asian. The Democrats are right. I'm not safe in Trump's America.
I've been hearing about other minorities asking Black people to show up and protest against ICE. Ask the Asians instead. Our shit's already being rocked. The working class ones are going to be targeted by ICE just like the Latino community. Hell, a bunch of us are already being deported and often to the wrong country. And then as for the richer ones, Trump has already banned all Chinese students from coming to the US to study and has banned all international students from coming to Harvard, which affects a whole lot of Asian international students. So anybody who looks Chinese, even if they're a US citizen, is going to be affected by this. He's put several South Asian countries on the travel ban list. So yeah, brown Asians are going to be affected too. Anyway, our voting numbers look very similar to Latinos. Just over half of us voted for Kamala and the rest went for Trump. We couldn't just fucking listen to Black people when they told us to vote for the Black lady who wasn't going to take all our civil rights away. And now we want them to come save our asses when they're getting whooped? Also, have you maybe considered that the feds want Black people to show up to the protests? Because then they have an excuse to escalate the violence. Then they have an excuse to call them riots. We saw what happened with the peaceful protests in 2020 after George Floyd was killed by a policeman. Also, if you've been paying any attention at all, Black people have been showing up to support Latinos who are potentially being deported. Look at all the videos from Compton. Just type Compton in your search bar. So why don't we do this? Why don't we let Black people make their own decisions? Stop expecting them to be your personal avengers. Mobilize the Asians. I know that if I'm in front of a cop at a protest, he's going to think twice about doing anything to me. He's not going to give me the same grace as a white person, but he's definitely going to give me more than he gives a Black person. And if you can't go to a protest, just fucking say something, especially if you live in California. Asians, I know there's a lot of you over there. I was born in the Bay Area, so I feel like I should say something. Anyway, yeah, mobilize the Asians. Stay safe out there.
I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole riots in LA and all these deportation things. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support, the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals.
Let me be crystal clear. Just because you've chosen to bend over backwards for white supremacy doesn't mean you get to speak for the entire Asian community. You don't. And you never will. What you said wasn't bold, it wasn't helpful, it was bootlicking. It was pick-me cosplay, wrapped in delusion that proximity to power means protection. But newsflash, power doesn't protect you. It uses you until it doesn't. You think following the rules makes you safe? Tell that to the Japanese families forced into internment camps. Tell that to Vincent Chin. Tell that to the 6 Asian women murdered in Atlanta. Tell that to every elder attacked in broad daylight just for existing. They followed the rules. They still suffered. You say Asian people support the country? No. You support the fantasy of conditional acceptance. You support the lie that if you stay quiet, obedient, and useful, you'll be left alone. But history says otherwise. And so do I. You say you don't care about migrant labor because we're not dependent on it? First of all, don't flatter yourself. Second, migrant labor built this country. And third, I stand with all marginalized communities. Black, brown, undocumented, queer, indigenous, all of them. Because justice isn't a limited resource. And if your idea of survival is throwing other people under the bus, you're not surviving. You're just begging for crumbs. You praise deportation like they don't tear families apart, like trauma isn't passed down, like you're immune. You're not. This system doesn't see you as one of them. It never has. And when they're done with the others, they'll come for you too. To everyone watching, this is why Asian creators must speak up. Because silence doesn't protect you. It just leaves others more vulnerable. I will not be silent while people are dehumanized. Not in my name. I'm Asian, I'm a creator, and I reject every ounce of that rhetoric. Because standing up for our people means standing up for all people. If your liberation depends on someone else's oppression, it's not liberation, it's cowardice. So no, I will not stay in my lane. I'll speak up, I'll show up. And I will stand with every marginalized group fighting to be seen, heard, and free. If that bothers you, maybe you were never about justice to begin with.
How the hell are you going to be Vietnamese American and think to yourself for even 1 second that Asians are not going to be caught up in all of this? Someone just told me that that was a conversation that they just had with another Vietnamese American, and I will not stand by that ignorance. First of all, it's insane to me that you have to feel directly affected in order to feel empathy for others. Over Memorial Day weekend, 160 community members were deported on a single flight to Laos and Vietnam. ICE is already present in Orange County, Little Saigon. To those who didn't care before, do you now? Do you understand now? They're in our backyard. It makes me indescribably angry, and I am not good with words. To know that Vietnamese Americans don't care about what's happening when our own community came here only 2 generations ago. I wish I could articulate my words better, but it's just time for people to wake the hell up and stop being ignorant.
So watching all of this is heartbreaking. I mean, no one deserves to live in fear of being dragged out of their homes or workplaces, right? No matter where they come from. And while some people online are saying things like, oh, Asians didn't care when it was happening to others, so why should we care now? I think this is a time for reflection, not division, right? And that said, it's impossible to ignore the silence that was there before. I mean, when Latinos and Hispanic communities were protesting, when they were calling for help and raising awareness about ICE raids, some Asian communities stayed quiet, perhaps believing that they were safe. Maybe they thought that deportation policies would never come for them, or maybe they simply just wanted to stay out of the spotlight. Right? But the reality is that systems like this don't stop with one group, right? Once they start, everyone becomes a target sooner or later. And now we're seeing that play out. I mean, do I think that Asians should have spoken up before? Honestly, yes, they should have, because unity between minority communities is powerful, and when one group stands alone, it becomes easier for systems like ICE to push forward. But does that mean that they deserve this? Absolutely not. No one deserves to be treated this way. The bigger question here is, what happens now, right? Will the Hispanic community show up for the Asians despite the past silence? Will this become a wake-up call for all minority groups to stop treating oppression like it's a them problem and start treating it like it's an us problem? Because that's the only way that we can all truly be safe, right? We also have to address the fear factor. I mean, for many immigrants, speaking up feels dangerous, and that's understandable. I mean, even when they're not the direct target, the fear of ICE, retaliation, of being noticed is real. And maybe that's why some Asian communities stayed quiet. But, fear won't protect anyone forever. And this is why conversations like this matter. We need to ask ourselves, how can we stand together? I mean, how can we fight for each other's safety? Because clearly, staying silent is not an option, right? Anyways, I'd love to know what you think about this. Do you think that this is karma, or do you think that this is a reminder that we all need to be united against systems like ICE? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Credit to all creators featured on this video. And thank you so much for tapping in when you saw the video, and I'll see you on my next one.